Welcome to In My Opinion, where we dive deep into debatable topics and explore, well, our opinions. Buckle up for some thought provoking fun. Today with me, I have Brittany and Landon, and of course, you have me, Mike. You know, you're a beautiful, wonderful, invisible host. I'm glad to have you guys with us today. Today we're going to be talking about the state of movies and, well, where they are now and where they are then. Maybe our favorite movies and what we like or dislike about what they are pushing out these days. All right, Landon, let's go ahead and kick it off with you. What is your opinion on the state of movies today?
Well, I think today's movies are good. Like, just gonna go off what I wrote myself earlier. So today's movies are good, but they lack the guts of older films. They're afraid to offend, unlike classics like a Bronx Tale and Blazing Saddles, which tackle real life issues head on. Bronx Tale touched on subjects such as racism and really forced you to think. It made you realize that this is a rough world that we live in, and that we are all just doing the best we can. The world is ever changing, but one thing that won't change is that the world sucks. It is better if we can do it together. And as a Native American, I find Blazing Saddles hilarious, even with the over-the-top stereotypes. Big old red man with feathers on his head. Satire meant to expose prejudice, not perpetuate it. Just like South Park and Family Guy, it uses humor to address uncomfortable topics, opening up dialogue and breaking down barriers. We need more movies that aren't afraid to push boundaries and make us laugh at ourselves. It's not about hate. It's about using humor to connect and understand each other better. Like, people nowadays are just too soft and afraid to talk about uncomfortable topics. And it's something that we should really bring back. As much as I love newer movies, especially like scary movies, things that are, uh, they don't have to be deep, but you shouldn't be afraid to talk about things that are just uncomfortable.
I agree with that to a sense, but I'm more into the fantasy to reality aspect of movies. Like back in the day, you knew it was fake, but they made it feel so real. But these days, they try to make it feel so real that you look at it like, oh yeah, this is actually happening. You look at the real life situations and you're like, this is actually happening right now. And they kind of try to drive that fear factor in you in every movie that they make. And it frustrates me because there's nowhere for my brain to go. It's like, okay, I've seen this in real life. Like, I need something here to drive my imagination. So I end up finding myself literally falling asleep to these movies. And it's like, give me something, please, guys. Even the new Star Wars movies, they try to bring in the political aspects of bullshit. Like Star Wars back in the day was my jam. I know that none of that shit was real, but they threw the freaking aspect in there. Like, these are people, these are human beings, okay? We're in space, we're fighting in space. They didn't bring Earth into it, right? There is no Earth in Star Wars. There's all these different planets, all these different aliens, all these different things to explore and wonders to just kind of drive your imagination forward. But now the new Star Wars movies and new Star Wars shows, they drive the whole reality aspect into it. Yeah, there's still no Earth, but they still bring Earth politics into it, whether or not they say so or not.
Hold up. Wait a second. We're going to have a Star Wars argument because the politics have been in all of the movies entirely. It's the two systems fighting each other from the beginning. So you can't say that they're introducing that now when it's something that's been in the universe since they started. Just saying.
Well, and in Star Wars,
two different,
Sorry, continue.
Go ahead. It's okay.
I'll let you finish your point.
I was just going to say it's always been the two political parties essentially fighting each other. The two people fighting against, or the rebels against the people who want to be in control, or like the main, whatever. But yeah.
Well, and Coruscant is the homeworld of the humans. It is Earth. As far as, it's a home, the home to humans, the home of the master race in Star Wars. But yeah, she's right. And it's actually more of a uncomfortable topic of like World War II. is more of what the original Star Wars were going off of. You know, they even have the stormtroopers, which Hitler did too.
That's right. Hitler had them stormtroopers.
The bad versus the good. You know, Hitler versus the Allies.
Well, yeah, any good
And he
movie
had all
has a
those
good guy and a
followers.
bad guy.
He he had all those followers and all of this stuff, and he was the big bad. And then these people were going against him and all that stuff. Very similar storyline. It's always been
Dictatorship.
political. hmm I think personally, I like what you said about humor and talking about touchy subjects, Landon. Like, there are a lot of people that are afraid to touch on those things now versus before. And it kind of sucks because, like, when you look at movies now, they're just. I don't even care to go to the movie theater to watch them. I was looking at a list of movies to go see for my birthday, and they all look like crap. Like, copy, paste. The movies are just. There's nothing original or interesting or. You know what I mean? Even if it's supposed to be a comedy, it's like bland, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I think like yeah, there's a good thing to have fantasy, but it has to be relatable in a way. Like Lord of the Rings was a great fantasy, but there are topics in there that you know, greed, especially the number one, that are human topics, and because we won't be able to relate to anything that isn't just human in a way. So it's good to have those emotions. Otherwise, we just won't get it, and we'll get bored, even if it is an escape from reality.
But where does originality die off, right? Like anymore, the only originality they're putting into movies is that they're just slapping a freaking transgender or the LGBTQ movement into every single movie. When's the last movie you saw that didn't have somebody freaking homosexual in it, right? I don't have anything against them, period. I love them all. I love all people equally. I think equal rights are a huge thing, but as far as everything goes, I get it. I really do. I get it, guys. Not everybody has to be gay. Stop.
A lot of
Well,
people are going to be bothered by that because their opinion is that they want visibility. But at the same time, I don't see why orientation in a movie or TV show or whatever is important in general.
Well, it's the
You
fact
know?
that it's in children's movies. Like, kids don't
well,
understand that garbage. Like, stop, guys. I get it. I see you. I see you, the blonde chick with the Adam's apple. I see you. You are visible. I promise.
yeah. The problem with that is like, there's no problem with them being in there. There's no problem with them being represented. It's a forced representation. Like, and then they almost stereotype them in a way, kind of like they do with the Asians. You know, just
Yeah.
forcing a representation rather than just having them there. Like, yeah, okay, that's a gay guy, whatever. Like, but when you're
Right.
forcing them to fucking be the flamboyant fucking dick sucker that they, you know,
Yeah, and
it's just really
it's
it's
not
too much out there.
realistic to me, and it doesn't drive my imagination. And for them to always be the main character, like, stop, guys. I get it. I really do. I understand it. Back in the day, like, yeah, there were you could see freaking gay guys and females and transgenders in all these older movies, right? But you had to actually guess which one was which, right? They didn't stereotype it so hard, but they were there. They were visible. We all saw them.
I think it's just more of a people, you know, like when you look at an example, the what was it? The new Little Mermaid movie. Everybody freaked out about that because of race. You know what I mean? Like, and it really shouldn't have mattered, but it was a huge deal. It's that kind of like we're gonna try to change things, and they changed like one of the songs in that movie. I don't remember which one it was because oh, the Kiss the Girl song. They like changed the lyrics in that movie because of consent or something like that. But that's like I don't know. That kind of pushes my button a little bit.
But that goes back to what I was saying about bringing our politics into movies, like forcing all those politics in there or having to change it because somebody's opinion didn't line up or a group of people's opinions didn't line up with it really ruins the movie and really ruins the idea of the movie that they actually had. It's not like they were intentionally trying to make a movie like the original Little Mermaid to outcast a specific person. It was just an idea. It was a movie. It drove the imagination rather than, oh, we've got to change all of this to appeal to one certain party, and then everybody's just kind of out of the loop.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and
It's all
I'm actually not against movies like pushing politics in a way. Like, yeah, I don't shove it down our throats, but you can talk about a certain subject and then show like this one side, like the movie I was talking about, A Bronx Tale. It's like there's obviously a shit ton of racism in that movie if you've seen it, and it's fucking brutal. And you can show that it's wrong without being like, hey, this is fucking wrong. Like, yeah, you can look at it like, yeah, fucking not letting your kid date a black girl is fucking very wrong. And sorry, I got distracted.
But it was a movie. It was a movie based on reality, and they didn't stray off of that, right? They didn't try to force some sort of political view. That's how it was, right? Rather than in these newer movies where that's not how it was, but you guys decided to change it like it was that way or like it's supposed to be that way. It's like, no, that movie was reality. That's the way it was back in the day, and they didn't try to change it to fit some sort of forced agenda.
Yeah, no, there's not, like I said, there's nothing wrong with showing politics. It's like music, like back in the good old days, you'd talk about like, hey, or like even especially like the Vietnam War era, people would talk about politics like, hey, this is my view, this is how I think it should be, rather than, this is the only way, it should be. That's where they've gone wrong. They're forcing people to believe a certain way rather than allowing people to have differing opinions, even if one is wrong. And but that leave that up to the people to decide. Rather than shoving it down their fucking throats.
The idea of we don't have the same opinion, and that's okay. Even if, like you said, even if somebody is wrong and their opinion shouldn't be that way on certain things, right? Like, whatever. But the fact that it's like, you feel that way, I feel this way, whatever, agree to disagree and leave it that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that anymore. It's this big old, fight or argument or whatever turns into something. Oh, this did this way, and oh no, now it's all over the internet and everyone's freaking out because they changed one character or something like that. It's too much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a person who believes that freedom is a big thing, right? You are free to believe and have the opinions that you want, and I am free to believe and have the opinions that I want, And I don't want you to try to force your opinions onto me and tell me I'm a bad person because I don't believe what you believe because my opinion is wrong to you. I mean, cool. I get it. You have an opinion, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how wrong you are. I may tell you what my opinion is on it. I'm not going to argue super hard about it, I'm going to tell you my opinion, give you my points, and we're going to call it there. I'm not going to be like, you have to believe what I believe. Otherwise, you're some sort of evil, demonic, freaking piece of crap, right? Which irritates me about movies is because they force all of this into like all my entertainment these days. It's in video games like Overwatch. We had an Overwatch discussion about whatever, but this wasn't brought up. But like Overwatch, they changed the orientations of these video game characters to fit the freaking social agenda that is currently going on, which is happening in video games, movies, all forms of entertainment. And it frustrates me because I just want the original idea that the writer had to be there, right? I doubt the original writer to these movies and TV shows were like, yeah, put a chick in it, make her gay and lame.
Oh yeah, South Park reference there.
South Park.
But you're right in Overwatch specifically, wasn't it Soldier or something? Like the old military guy, he's supposed to be like everybody's dad, right? And then like way later they were like, "Oh, yeah, he's gay." But like they didn't even say anything about that ever in the origin of the game or any of that stuff. It came like way way later. It didn't even make sense like with their original all the original storylines and all that stuff that they had, like the original cinematics and all that. It just didn't even it wasn't even relevant, honestly, but they did that so that way people, I mean, I guess they could relate to him or what, I don't know. But it was just weird. It felt weird. It felt like a weird thing, you know? Like why? It never mattered. It never mattered.
Well, they didn't have to do
Yeah,
it in
like-
the first place because the original character Tracer was canon gay. Like everybody knew that. That was in the
Yeah,
lore. That was
she was.
a thing. But then they started like pushing the agenda to where almost every character was freaking gay. It's like, stop, guys, stop. Which goes to movies. Like, you guys, I get it. Like, the character is gay, but quit trying to force this into like multiple scenes, right? They only needed one scene to explain that the person was gay, right? One scene would have been fine. Now we know. Let's move on with the movie and the actual storyline. Quit trying to make it the subject of the storyline.
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
People, well, like, and why does it fucking matter if they're gay or not? Like, that's what people
Doesn't.
don't understand. Like,
No,
I don't
has
care.
no relevance.
I really just don't fucking care. Like, I don't care if they're straight. I don't care if they're gay. I really fucking don't, because it doesn't matter to me.
I'm
Like,
watching this for the
I'm my
story.
own. And it's better to leave an open an open page that people can fucking apply to themselves. Like, if you want him to be gay, that's up to
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to fucking like he is gay or he is straight. Like, who fucking cares?
Right, it doesn't matter.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
but-
relevant at all. I don't care about someone's orientation. Like, you're awesome.
I
and
guarantee
awesome
most
person. I
people
don't
don't care.
Yeah, I don't care what you do
So-
on your own and behind closed doors or whatever. Like, if you're a cool person and you're cool to me, that's all that matters. Like, nothing else. It's not relevant.
All right,
Like,
let's move
it's
off
really
of
not.
the gay subject and let's move into past movies. So, past movies.
Okay.
So they push the movie onto you, right? You see the movie, but they're not telling you the storyline. They're not reading it to you like it's a book. They're introducing you to a scene, opening scene. What is that? Dawn of the Dead, where the little girl walks into the room and she's just wearing her white gown. Dad wakes up, you know, what's going on? Half her face is gone. You're like, holy shit, right? Movies these days, they don't do that. They don't give you that opening surprise factor of what's going on and all of that. They basically feel like we're all dumb. I feel like that's what they do. They feel like we're all absolutely stupid and they freaking have to explain it. And now we have this hour and a half fucking monologue and no story.
Okay. I kind of see what you're saying. I just think that newer movies are just not original enough because, like, with movies like that back before, they had these like random, these new original ideas. You know what I mean? Like everything now is just like big franchise, like The Conjuring, for example, right? Like they had the first movie and the second movie, and they were great, but then they just decided they're gonna do this spin-off movie and another spin-off movie and another thing, and it's
I
a
love
whole.
the Conjuring verse.
for-
Fucking trigger me.
I love it. I love it. No, no, no. It's just an example. I love The Conjuring. It's one of my favorites. Like literally my favorite movie. Ed and
like the
Lorraine, I
second
love
one.
them. I could talk about them for days. Anyway, just as an
Crooked
example.
Crooked Smile. I love that shit.
But
That was-
what did they do with that though? Like they made it like this whole thing, and then the nun and Annabelle, and like it's a whole. Now it's a universe.
the
right?
nun fucking freaked me the fuck out forever.
Now it's a universe.
Every time I saw a shadow like fucking come across my
But-
window or something, like, what the fuck?
But you know what I'm saying though? Like it's like these movies are not, they can't just like have like a movie and it not be like an entire franchise, and now it's getting a TV show and all this other stuff.
Well, that brings me
You know?
into like The Orphan, right? The Orphan was good by itself. That movie was a good movie as a singular movie. They did not need a second. They did not need a third. Same thing with Sharknado. Sharknado, the original, first one was fine. I had
That was
fun with
never
it.
a good movie, Nicole.
You know what? I'm not saying it was the greatest movie of all time, but I'm saying it was fine at the first one. It was fine. Why do we need fucking 8 Sharknados?
Snakes on a plane.
Yeah,
I
the
do
first
like
one was
my-
great.
I do like a good old like creature feature type movie though. Like there's just those stupid B-rated movies where a creature comes and
Yeah.
fucking eats your face off, like Lake Placid or Anaconda,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
like or Sharknado. Like
That's what I loved about the
fucking
Predator
movies.
movies.
Fun to watch.
No, it's just like it feels like
Predator movies are
they're
good, too.
milking this stuff for as far as possible instead of just letting like a wonderful masterpiece of a movie just be. Do you know what I mean?
Some movies I do think there should be those whole connected universe things like Alien versus Predator. Like those
Yeah.
those are two good movies that you can continue forever and they will always be a good fucking movie.
And I love The Conjuring. Okay,
The
I'm just
Conjuring.
using it as an
Well,
example.
and
I
that
love
one
those
is connected
movies.
because of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Like and
I
those
love-
are their stories and then
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just an example though. It was the first
Well,
one.
then they had
came
that
out.
one off that had nothing to do with them, La Llorona.
Yeah, that's weird too.
Like
I
they
don't know.
had nothing to do with Ed and Lorraine Warren, as far as I remember. But
We could talk about them and other stuff on another podcast. But
yeah, as far as like the past movies though, they used to like hold up a mirror to you rather than force you to think about something.
it
like
would be
oh
introspective. Yeah.
yeah, rather than
You could-
rather than the other way
You could
around.
watch a movie and it would make you think about something inside yourself instead of it being like what they want you to think or what they want you to see or hear or their opinions or whatever. Like they're trying to shift culture with all of this stuff that they're putting in the back of movies. And it feels more like that's what they're trying to do versus what it used to be like. I
Well,
think.
even horror movies back in the day did it. Like Candyman.
Definitely.
That was a huge like race,
God.
race related thing that would make you feel a certain way, and then he comes back with a vengeance, like, "Hey, you were racist. I fucking hate you all. You're all dead."
Crazy.
I do fuck with new scary movies though.
Yeah. I don't that is so Yeah, I think older movies they just have more originality. Or they did when they came out personally. And now
Yeah.
it's just like let's remake this and remake that and remake and what do you guys think about
Ooh.
those?
Speaking of a good remake, I think it's another rumor. I saw Michael Bob rumor earlier, but talk about that one later. But apparently, Blumhouse, the production of like all the good scary movies, they're gonna be apparently doing a remake of My Bloody Valentine. I loved that shit as a kid.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And I would love to see it brought up to the new age, to the new terror, the new scary.
Well, like, I think that it's cool that they can redo some movies like that and bring in the new technology of the video, like the movie making stuff, and put more money and stuff and time into them. And I think that's awesome. But at the same time, it'd be cool to see new stuff too.
well, that's
know?
the thing about remakes I don't like these days is that they're putting time into these remakes, but they're not putting the effort. They're like, oh, it's already written, so we're just gonna barf this out at low budget and try to push it out for high profit. It's like, guys, all great movies, right? The really good movies, Avatar, Titanic, all these movies spent millions to make a great movie, right? I'm not. If you want to argue about these great movies, go for it. But like, these movies to me were great. They put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and they didn't just push out the next movie freaking a year later. I did not like the Avatar 2 though. Avatar 2 kind of sucked. It was probably the most awful thing, but it's because they didn't put a bunch of money into it. They're like, oh, we're just going to run off the original Avatar franchise and everybody's going to watch it and it's going to be great.
Well, the thing
I
is with
think-
Avatar 2, they made it at the same time as Avatar 1. Like he
I
was
think they
making
put a
4
lot of
movies
money.
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they helped push movie technology ahead of its time because he's been working on it since the fucking 90s. So he's been James Cameron. So
I think
that's a whole labor of love with him is that movie.
I think he put a lot of money into it, but I think that once again his originality with like the villain and all that stuff could have been, they could have changed it a little bit. Like
Literally copy pasted, and it was frustrating
yeah,
that
the
they didn't
villain in that
make a
situation.
new
I think like
villain.
otherwise that movie specifically was good, like except for that one specific thing. Like if they had changed that a little bit or that whole thing with the whales, that it like something about that there was a disconnect for me. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Like
You guys played the
it brought
game?
up the real world issue of whaling, right? That's what that brought to me. Like they were
that's
trying to bring that
great.
issue to light.
That's a good
Great,
thing.
but I feel like the villain should have been another faction that didn't like the fact that they brought in Jake Sully as one of their own and incarnated him into one of their bodies, and had babies and maybe like just another faction that just fucking hated that and they went to war with each other over it, right? And then found
So
peace in the
racism.
end. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
I could see that. And now I just feel like when we were watching it, like there were some spots that felt like they didn't connect as great as they could have. And I think once he killed that guy, that should have been the end of it. It could have been so better, so much better. I don't know. I think it was a beautiful movie, and it's very obvious that they did put a lot of money into it.
A
Honestly.
lot of money into it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
But
I mean, they're still making a 3rd and 4th one too, I think.
oh man, I hope
After the
that the
second one,
storylines are
nobody will
better.
watch those. A few people will go watch
I
it for the
doubt it.
franchise, but
They totally
people
will.
are gonna
They
watch it.
totally
Oh, yeah.
will.
Mainly because of the visuals. I mean, even Avatar 1 still looks good. And it was made in 14
I
years
still
ago, I
like that
think.
movie.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
rewatch Avatar 1 all day long. Just like Titanic. I'll rewatch Titanic all day long. But like Avatar 2, once was enough. It was complete trash to me.
Yeah, it was okay. I fell asleep during it. But
Yeah.
but honestly, it's just because it's so long, I think. And I would watch it at nighttime. So after a long ass day of work.
It's
So
a
that
good
probably had
test
something to do.
for Michael. If he falls asleep during a movie, it means it wasn't entertaining enough. You know what I mean? Like, because
Absolutely.
he falls asleep anytime. So if he fell asleep during that movie, what was that one movie we watched? The Suicide Squad.
Oh, such
So that's something we
garbage.
could talk about. We could talk about that. So like they had the
Which
original
one?
Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. So there was Suicide Squad that had Jared Leto, you know what I mean? That one. And then the newer one which was titled The Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, where they
And it
fight the
was
starfish.
different. Yeah. He fell asleep in the movie theater and was snoring so loud, everybody in there probably heard him. But
I thought
like
the movie was
story
okay.
itself, it was like funny, But I think the other one, the older one, I thought it was
The
great, and
older
I don't
one
know
was
why they
way
had to do
better
a different one.
produced.
I thought it was
I don't
funny when
know,
they like killed the entire village of people that aren't even bad people. Like,
Oh,
oh shit.
it felt like more of just one of those funny kind of movies versus like, do you know what I mean? The original felt more like an actiony kind of movie. And
Well,
it had funny
it was more engaging,
humor.
right? They made you think a little bit rather than just forcing it all in your face with bad puns and freaking shitty comedy. Like the Adam Sandler movies. Like I loved Adam Sandler's older stuff, but all the newer stuff, it's like, okay, I've seen you get kicked in the nuts like 400 times, dude. Like I get it. Like
Yeah.
give me something original, right? I get it. It was funny back in the day. Your movies are great. Nothing bad against Adam Sandler, but like, dude, get some new material. Like I'm surprised you can
He
even
was
have kids.
he was serious in that one movie we watched. What was that? Do you remember that? The newer one? It's on Netflix. I mean, now he's got that Netflix whatever. It was like serious and we watched it and it was totally not what I expected from him. You were like, because he's getting older, he's being serious now. I thought that was interesting. I don't know.
Well, it's
But yeah,
the
you're right. It's
age
the
old
same kind of
cliche of
humor.
like every comedian wants to do serious movies and every serious actor wants to do comedies.
Yeah. It was hard to take him serious watching it. Do you know what I mean? knowing his character,
I
but
mean,
he kind of
he's
does
had a
that for
couple.
himself.
He's had a couple serious
Yeah.
movies, like he's like a called.
Do, 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 do,
Yep,
do,
dude.
do.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
Yeah.
But
There's
the
so many
Suicide
movies. It's
Squad
hard to
movie
look
just
through.
didn't keep me engaged. They started out forcing the action in your
Uncut
face,
gems.
right? There was no originality to the beginning. Like, okay, cool. Everybody dies in the beginning of the movie. All right, whatever. Where's the story? Like, how did they all get involved in all this? Like, yeah, Dave show 'em walking through, freaking picking everybody, and then everybody fucking dies. Got it. Movie over. My fucking entire imagination's gone. Like, I hate movies that just sit there and throw constant action in your face with no reason for it. Like, what the fuck is going on, guys? Like,
There's got to be a blend of actual story in there, or it's not. It just gets like, really, this is obnoxious.
but that's what I like.
I like action movies. Yeah, I'll watch them, but they have to keep my attention. If they're just fighting all the time, I mean,
Like, constant
Eh.
explosions and gunfire. Like, okay, whatever. That's what I liked about the Die Hard series, except for the last two. The last two Die Hard movies kind of sucked because the storyline was exactly the same, just a different freaking building.
fair enough.
I'm surprised they even made multiple of those. But, because, I mean, they were just, Die Hard 1 is good.
Oh,
The other ones
fantastic. Well, it's
can
all
all
the same
fucking die in a hole.
storyline. Yeah, it's all the same
Yeah.
freaking storyline, just a different place. Even the villains
in
acted
movies-
the same. Like, come on, guys.
I mean, we still get movies like Die Hard.
Yeah, not all villains are that stupid.
It reminds
Those
me of
bad-
the Rick
Those
and Morty.
bad accents. Oh my god, the bad accents.
Hans
Ooh.
Gruber. Yeah, having an English person do a German accent.
Yeah,
Oh my
for real.
gosh. So bad. But it's
But
funny.
yeah, the
'cause
movie I was
everybody
talking
knows
about with
that.
Adam Sandler. The Uncut Gems. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
No. Interesting.
I'll give you like a synopsis right here. Uncut Gems is a film that tells the story of Howard Ratner, a Jewish American jeweler. I don't know why that was a tongue twister for me. A Jewish American jeweler and gambling addict in New York City's Diamond District. He must retrieve an expensive gem he purchased in order to pay off his debts. The movie stars Adam Sandler and revolves around his character's desperate attempts to deal with his addiction and financial troubles. It was very much a drama, and it was actually a really good
Interesting.
movie.
Sounds interesting. I like the way that he does stuff with his heritage and just who he is, though. Like the way that it's just part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like that one movie that
Yeah,
we
it's just
watched.
part of who he is.
He's a dad and his kids are Jewish or his daughter's Jewish and she's like going through that scenario. But it was still like a good, interesting movie, and it didn't feel like they were like just trying to push it or anything. It was just part of who they were. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's
As
an
opposed to
honest-
being a Czech,
Yeah.
a Czech spaceman.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's movies that never made a remake. I don't think Blood Diamond ever made a remake or a number 2, right? I don't think there was a Blood Diamond 2.
No,
But then we look
and
at
they already
Blood Diamond 2, or Blood Diamond, that was a really good movie. I really enjoyed that. It wasn't constant action. There was a real story there. They introduced different characters that weren't the main character, but you actually felt for that person in that movie. Like,
It's one of the only movies I like with Leonardo DiCaprio. That and Django Unchained.
you actually feel things in these good movies, and you're like, that is good writing. I feel like they're just having ChatGPT write all these freaking movies these days.
Hey, Shutter
Well,
Island. Was
Had
pretty
that writer's strike last year, so maybe that's part of why the movies are struggling right now. I don't know how long that's going to cause a problem for, but like I definitely know that like when I looked at these movies, like the one I was looking at going to see, it was called If and it has Ryan Reynolds in it, right? Which
Oh.
is cool, he's funny, but like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Do you know what I mean? Literally, like the synopsis is exactly the same.
Hey,
Like
Ryan Reynolds though,
imaginary friends.
he's the same person every time, and I could literally
Yeah,
watch
he
every
is.
single movie because he's just that
Yeah.
fucking charismatic and funny.
He's funny, like, and I'm sure it's a great movie, but like, I'll watch it when it's on streaming. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really feel like. And then there was another movie about like a stuntman or something, and that was like the other Ryan Gosling, I think. Is that his name? Yeah, I don't know. It just they didn't pull my interest enough. Do you know what I mean? I didn't find them. It's just like I'll watch it when it comes when I can watch it at home. It wasn't like I really want to go see this. Nothing's like pulling on me like, "Oh, I really want to go watch that in the movie theater." You know?
I agree. And on that note, we're gonna go into a quick break. Looks like Landon caught himself a real life situation. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back into some Would You Rather. So hold on tight.
Hey guys, Dolly here, and I'm going to talk to you about Candid Computers. Candid Computers is your trusted destination for expert computer repair and top-notch PC building services. At Candid Computers, they understand the frustration of dealing with computer issues, which is why they are dedicated to providing prompt and reliable repairs to get you back up and running in no time. Whether it's a virus, hardware failure, or software glitch, Candid Computers has you covered with efficient solutions tailored to your needs. Plus, if you're in the market for a custom-built PC optimized for your specific requirements, they're here to bring you that vision to life. With a focus on transparency, integrity, and exceptional customer service, Candid Computers is your partner in keeping your technology running smoothly. Trust Candid Computers for all your computer repair and PC building needs, because when it comes to your technology, honesty is their policy. Our PCs at Phantom Rift are from Candid Computers, and yours can be too. Definitely check them out at candidcomputers.net.
All right, we're back from our quick break. We're going to jump right into our Would You Rather with our co-host Landon. Take it away.
All right, so my would you rather is: would you rather have unlimited money but have to spend it all on others, or have just enough money for yourself but never be able to help anyone financially?
That's really hard. That one was really thoughtful. I'd probably help other people, honestly, because chances are your good karma's going to come back to you. You know what I mean? And that's what I think anyway. I mean, it's not necessarily the case, but you never know. But I'd probably feel more fulfilled if I could help other people.
Oh man, I'm a selfish asshole. I'm keeping that money.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but I have a different thought on it. Or having enough for my children, or for myself and my children, is helping others. So I would rather have it just for myself.
Yeah,
Particularly those I'm responsible for. Providing for their needs, housing, education, opportunities is my priority. This isn't selfishness, but a long-term investment in their future. By equipping them with the tools to succeed independently, I'm ultimately contributing to society. So I'm making the world a better place by making my kids better. And after all, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Well,
financial security is essential for me to be truly helpful to anyone. You have to, in the real world, you have to take care of yourself before you take care of others, because you won't be able to give anything, regardless of how much money you have. And besides it, if you have an unlimited amount of money, you're going to have an unlimited amount of leeches that aren't going to do anything with themselves.
I agree. And if I die, my kids and my family get that money anyway. And per the freaking contract there, they can help as many people as they want, just not me.
Well, and the way I see it is, it's if you have just enough for yourself, it's still an unlimited amount of money for your own needs, for your own kids, because they, as far as kids go, they are you until they're an adult.
I'd be a regular.
I didn't see it that way when you said that. I wasn't picturing it that way when you mentioned kids and family and stuff. When you said just you, I pictured it was just you personally, your own person. But Yeah, that makes sense. But also, if you look at my perspective, I suppose that's what I've done for way too long in my life is I've taken care of everybody else versus taking care of myself, and it didn't do me super great. So, yeah, I get it. I see
Yeah,
it, and
yeah,
it's
ultimately, it is better to
definitely
take care of yourself over
yeah,
others, and it's you and then others. As far as like a level, there's a while back, regardless of what you think, there's God. You got to take care of God, yourself, your significant other, then your children. It's a trickle down effect.
yeah, definitely your family, all that. But you can't take care of them if you're not taking care of yourself in general. Because, like, if you're not well enough or whatever, in whatever sense, then you can't do anything for anyone else that's actually going to be worth anything.
So there's always a loophole too. If you take care of yourself, buy yourself a brand new car. Like, oh, I don't need this car anymore. I got next year's model. I can go to my, my sister or mother or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Would you rather wear socks that have never been washed for a month or share a lukewarm bath with a stranger?
That is so gross. What the heck was that? Like, what in the world? That was so gross. I don't even. Ugh.
Well, are they worn socks or are they just brand new socks that have never been washed?
No, they're dirty socks.
They're like crunchy.
Yeah, they're dirty socks for a month or share a lukewarm bath with a stranger.
The socks, because I ain't getting in no bath with nobody that I don't know.
I'd rather share it with a stranger and choose that the stranger is a female.
Oh, if you can choose.
Well,
They
for all I
didn't
know,
say
they
they
are.
could choose.
Yeah.
They couldn't. They didn't say.
Yeah, it's
Well, didn't say you couldn't.
it's a stranger. You don't know who they are. It doesn't matter who they are, but I'm getting in that bath. I've worn dirty socks for freaking even a week, and it fucking hurts.
I don't wear dirty
The
socks.
pain,
so-
the pain
Oh, yeah.
from wearing dirty socks. Oh man, fuck that.
I know,
I am
it's like
jumping in that
fucking
lukewarm
acid,
bath
dude.
with that stranger.
I don't like I don't generally like socks anyway, but I just don't know about getting
Doesn't like socks.
naked. I like to be barefoot. Naked.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't even say you had to be naked. You should be sitting down in your clothes. Lukewarm bath.
Now, coming from Landon,
And how long do you have
combining
to
them
stay in there?
loopholes. Just take a bath.
And how long do you have to be in there? Just sit down, fucking get up. Like,
You gotta take a
quick enough
bath.
bath
You
for
know,
me.
you gotta soap up. You taking a bath? What kind of bath you taking where you're not soaping up? You know.
I take showers like a big boy. I'm too
Facts.
fucking tall to fit in a bathtub, anyways.
Well, you're getting
Yeah,
in
I
that
take
tub.
showers.
You were getting in
I'm
that
sitting in the
tub and
tub,
you were
my
scrubbing
fucking
their back.
knees touch my chest. Can I be the big
Ew!
spoon?
You didn't say anything about touching them.
Yeah, I want to be the
Well,
big
you're
spoon.
gonna be touching them in that bathtub. There's no getting around touching them in the bathtub. You were gonna be intermingled with this stranger in the bathtub.
No.
Yep, nuts to ass, man.
Me, I don't care. You know, I'm getting in that bath. I'm not wearing those socks for no month. I'm not dealing with that athlete's foot, the itchiness, the burning,
You're
the
gonna-
nastiness.
What if they're sick? What if something's wrong with them and you contract some sort of disease?
Yeah, what if they have like gonorrhea?
That would be awful. But how do you know they're strangers? The one you jumped in the tub with could have freaking AIDS.
And gonorrhea is treatable, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Take some antibiotics after.
Landon knows what wearing dirty socks is like. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's like acid, bro.
For
It's like
real.
the alien from Aliens just fucking spit on your foot.
All right. Jeez. Okay.
All right, what do you got, Brittany? What you got for us?
This is just a funny one. Would you rather have a toe the size of a foot or a finger the size of a hand?
Finger the size of a hand.
Yeah, definitely finger the size of a hand. Real good for bitch slapping
Imagine if you
somebody.
had a toe the size
You
of
could
a
like
foot. What
you
would
could
do
high
with
five yourself just fucking by squeezing your hand. Just go. Makes happy
like,
fun
what would
time
you-
even more fun.
it? Oh God. That just makes me think of the Deadpool when he's like, "I got baby hands."
His little baby
Like,
legs.
Trump feel jealous, man.
It's so much bigger in my baby hands.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, bro. You can double wrap that shit. That sounds
Really?
awesome.
Really playing with the stranger there, huh, bud?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that movie to come out. Okay, all right. So movies, right?
All right, Dolly, go ahead and
New
move us back in.
future movies. Future of movies. That new Deadpool movie, definitely gonna watch it. What else you guys got for me? The future of movies. What are your thoughts?
I don't see the movies going any further than they are now. Remakes after remakes after remakes. I personally can't think of any actual original fucking ideas that have not been made into a movie that's not going to end up being a remake. Movies are just going to continue to go downhill, and they're the only thing that's going to change with movies is maybe the graphics, and that is it. I don't see the future of movies going very much farther.
I don't know. I think that there are possibilities of people, maybe like book writers, who can come up with new things that, if maybe, hopefully, the industry can use to create new movies and new original ideas. I think that it's possible. Whether or not they're going to do that, I don't know. You know what I mean? I love books. So I know that there are plenty of stories out there that they could put into movies that would be really cool, you know? But will they do that? I don't know.
The problem is there is no
You
such
know?
thing as an original idea anymore. Everything you
No.
ever thought of has been thought of before. And so the only
Yeah.
thing that will change as far as like movies go or just anything is just the medium.
Yeah, I guess so.
So,
I
you know,
think
we'll be getting holographic movies and shit or AR, you know, like
oh
but
my
other than
god.
that,
You can already do that
can
now.
we can only write as far as our imagination will take us and humans are basic.
Yeah, but
We're,
everyone has a
we're
unique
emotional.
perspective.
We're emotional. I mean, yeah, it might be unique a little bit, but I mean,
You and
everyone.
me, we'll get it this way.
There's always like there's always a good start. There has to be
Yeah,
some
the
sort of
plot, right?
problem to be fixed,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the way stories are written. And there has to be an end, whether it's good or bad. You know, there.
My thought, though, we could have you and me. We could have the same topic, right? I could give you a topic, and I could have a topic, and we would both have completely different perspectives on the way that we wrote about it if we were to write a story about something. Because we are what that's the other thing too, is we're human and we have different perceptions and perspectives on things in life. But like, you know, like with the way technology and stuff is, you never know what they're going to come up with or make. But that's what I think. Like, it is possible to have things that are different or have different possibilities of storylines that way because of human perspectives, and they do change varying on their life experiences and the way that they've been through things or the way they see the world. Like, I'm going to see it way different than you because my life was different, you know? So I don't know. I think it's possible, but I don't know that it's going to go in ways that it should, because most of the time they're just doing stuff for money, you know?
Well, like I said, there's really no true thing as an original idea anymore. We're
Yeah.
so many few generations past, you know, our ancestors or the original humans that
For
we
sure.
just we even if we have a unique perspective on it, we're still looking at the same thing. You know, it's the same theme, and it's also the same setup of the story. It has a beginning, a middle, you know, it's a climax, and then it has an end.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
story is like that. There always has to be a problem to fix, otherwise it's just boring. So
It's not really a
no
story,
matter,
right?
yeah, no matter how we reworded or re-added different theme, it's always going to be the same thing. There always has to be a villain. There always has to be a hero.
Yeah,
And
I see that.
every story until the end of time is going to be like that, I think. And like, yeah, but I mean, even when we think in the future now, like, how much can we possibly get past that? You know, we're just going to
Yeah.
see blinking lights. You know, it's just,
We're just gonna turn all these cartoons into live actions, and they're just gonna be garbage.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I'm so done with those. I'm so done with them.
Yeah,
I am.
It's hard to have an original idea. We just have to innovate off of the ideas we currently have.
Like I
Like,
said,
I love,
graphics.
like the Disney example. I loved the Cinderella one. That was the first one. And Beauty and the Beast. And like, they were good, but as it progressively, kept coming out, they just got worse. Like, they just progressively got worse. They're just not, I don't even care to watch them now. You know what I mean? Like, no
Well,
thanks.
Disney's the epitome of not original.
Yeah.
Well,
Every
they
story
can't
they've
think of
ever
an
written.
idea, they buy the idea out.
Isn't
Well,
that
yeah, I mean,
crazy?
like they did with Cinderella is the story that was told.
Yeah.
forever. Jungle Book, Rudyard Kip. Wow, Rudyard Kipling. It's a stupid name. Sorry, anyone named that. But that's based off a book that was written. They didn't. I don't think Disney's ever come up with an idea that was original.
No, they took like those like legends from and stories from old heritage like stories and put them into movies.
Fairy tales.
Mickey Mouse was
Legends
an
and
original
fairy
idea.
tales. He was.
He was
Mhm.
their only original
That's just saying he's
idea.
mice. He's a mouse. That's not very original.
We're all in a giant mouse trap and he's at the center.
Yeah, he's not even their
He's
idea
in
anymore.
control.
Suckers.
Originality's
Yeah.
gone. It's awful, but it is what it is. That's why I turn a lot to my video games or like anime even. There's a lot of original animes that I really enjoy watching, like Food in Dungeon. That's my current favorite anime right now. They go into a dungeon, right? It's, you kind of get this vibe like, okay, yeah, it's going to be like any other freaking dungeon anime. Except these motherfuckers are going through there. They're trying to save his sister. And while they're going through there because they're poor, they all died from their last dungeon run. They all died and they reset and they have no money, but they're like, we got to go save my sister before the dragon digests her. What are we going to do? And the other guy's like, we'll just eat monsters. So they're going through this fucking dungeon and they're killing all these monsters and they're fucking eating them, showing you all the different ways to prepare each monster and shit. God damn. I love it.
I think I've
love
seen
it.
clips of that, on YouTube, like the living armor and shit.
Yeah, I love it. It's
So
a lot of fun. Living armor's a shellfish.
So wild. But they could, I mean, yeah, I think there are possibilities of ideas out there. It's just whether or not they're going to actually find them and use them, or
It's just all
you know
about
what I mean?
fantasizing the stupidest things,
Just-
right? Who
Well,
thought of it,
it's
right?
innovating. Yeah, innovating current ideas is really the only way they're
Right.
going to do it.
Right.
He said, "Hey, don't do that."
Which brings me back to my original point. My imagination, fantasy. Quit bringing reality into it. There's enough reality to fucking feed the
Yeah.
world in all these movies already. Show me some fantasy, guys. Like,
I
I really
definitely
enjoyed
agree.
Ready Player One, right? Ready Player One brought me
Yeah.
into the video game world. Showed me some fucking fantasy. Yeah, there was a little bit of real world aspect in there. Show me some fantasy, right? I'm done with the post-apocalyptic crap, guys. Give me some fantasy. Show me somebody getting fucking shot through a black hole and into fucking some sort of crazy-ass fucking universe, the alien greys, right?
An alternate universe.
Show me some alien greys fucking living their fucking best life. Run me through their fucking thing, Give me some fucking imagination, or even on the world. Fucking dig down and find the lizard people, right? And fucking have a battle with the lizard people. It's things like that. Just bring the fantasy of reality into my brain.
You're looking for
I've
an
been reading. I've been reading. I've been listening to an audiobook. It's kind of out there. It's like it's called Expeditionary Force. It's a series. It's the one I'm on right now is just the first one, Columbus Day. But anyways, Earth gets attacked by a race of alien hamsters, and they get saved by a race of alien lizards.
That's
But-
amazing.
But they're also like the client states of like even bigger, more technologically advanced alien groups. So, there's like alien spiders and fucking the gray, the gray aliens. And so it's actually super unique and something I haven't thought of. Jason? Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they're looking for original ideas, go pull some freaking ideas from these books. Turn some of these books into movies. Stop turning them into TV shows. I'm done with books into TV shows, guys. I am done with that.
I like
Make a movie.
the TV show idea though, because it allows you to build up, because a movie is an hour and a half or 2 hours nowadays, as opposed to a TV show that can be 6-8 hours, even if it's just a limited series.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love. Don't get me started on limited series.
Well,
love
okay,
a limited
okay.
series.
Those are just long movies.
Yeah.
That's all that they are. They're long movies.
And
Mhm.
so it allows you to tell a longer story, such as a book, as opposed to having to crunch it down in this short amount of time.
Kind of like the Queen's Gambit. You know that series, Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
That was the book, and the book was exactly like the limited TV series. Word for word almost. It was wonderful to bring that to freaking my audio visual freaking senses. I mean, I do love that. But they don't do enough of that. All these writers that have these great ideas and tell these wonderful stories don't get the credit they deserve, you know.
Yeah, and I bet whoever actually wrote that originally, nobody knows who that is. I feel like writers, like the real good writers, they deserve, especially book writers, they deserve more attention than what they get. That's for sure.
Because not a lot of people are readers, but a lot of people are into audio visual entertainment. So start taking some of these really good books, even if they're like, because how many people heard of the Queen's Gambit, right? A book on chess before fucking the TV show.
Yeah, there's a good limited series I liked on Netflix. It's called 1899. Just like
really
a thriller. Yeah, it was really good and it's limited.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Never hear about it again.
But they don't release enough
I wish
of
they
them.
would have more. Yeah, I wish they would have more limited series rather than like having to push out a whole.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a whole
thing that they're just trying to milk.
Yeah, because there's millions of books around the world of original freaking writings. Right? These people
What I
spend
do like, though,
hours and months of their day writing these books. Yeah, they're not a script, and it takes you a little bit of extra work to turn that book into a script. But man, oh man, the money that can be made in the television and movie industry if they took more books and made them into movies.
Well, I'm glad they're doing that with The Witcher, as much as they royally fucked up by having Henry Cavill quit. But
oh my gosh, yeah.
But the stories that they're telling are like stories that are from the books, as opposed to just making up shit.
Yeah, like
It's
Lord of the
really
Rings,
good.
The Hobbit, those were all fantastic movie series based off the books. I mean, they were books before they were movies, but now they're just trying to make scripts, and instead of taking all these wonderful, even the Titanic, they took the Titanic from a real life incident and they made it into real reality, you know. It could have been a really good book, but they beat them to it with the movie. But like Game of Thrones, I liked Game of Thrones to a point. We argued about this at one point in time. It was awful. They put a lot of the vulgar scenes in there. Like, yeah, in the book, it's pretty. It gets into it, but it doesn't make it a freaking huge freaking scene. You don't need a sex scene in a movie. Skip past that. You don't need to put that in the script. Just kind of skip past that. Again, make it known that they're lovers. You know,
People want that though.
I don't want that. I got Pornhub.
I know you don't. I know. Okay, I'm just saying. People find movies.
When else are you going to see
like
Kate
that,
Winslet
though.
nude, man?
See,
Yeah.
people are about that.
No, I don't want to see her naked now.
Really, really.
I'm just saying, like,
That's like seeing Betty White, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my God! Stop.
Betty White was
please.
fucking fine back in the day, bro. But
You don't
I'm
want to
good.
see. You don't want to see them freaking old
I don't want to
nudes.
see her at now. Yeah, the nowadays. Nope.
I mean,
I am solid.
she's gone. So rest in peace.
R.I.P. Betty White. She was wonderful.
She's so funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, people are about that spicy scene life, man. Like, I don't. You're right. It gets kind of obnoxious sometimes.
Oh, like the Conan book series. Oh, you
No,
turn
no,
that
like
into
that
a
one
freaking
series.
movie. You know how many
Hold
sex
on,
scenes
hold
are
on.
in that?
That new show
they had
that everyone's
Conan.
watching, the Bridgerton, right? Like the stories are great, but then the scenes that are in that, they're like long.
The movies,
and it's
the
like,
show's so stupid for
I
men. Like,
skip them, dude. I literally skip them because it's so awkward to sit there
It's-
for like 10 fucking minutes while these guys, they're like, I'm like, why am I don't want to watch this right now. I really don't. Let me just
yeah,
skip
that
the whole
movie's
thing. Let me just
definitely for
fast
women,
forward.
though.
Oh, I know.
They're
It's just
you know
like,
they're horny, erotic, fantasy novels. There's that type shit. Like my
But
wife tried to
still.
get
It
me to
makes
watch
me
it, and
feel
I was like,
awkward. It makes me feel
"Abso-fucking-lutely not.
awkward.
This is awful."
you know what I mean? Like the story is kind of cool. Like it's not historical at all. You know what I mean? Like it's not. There's like hints of like Regency era and like their culture and stuff, and it's kind
But
of
yeah, there was
funny.
black people in
Like there's
power.
funny stuff. Yeah, it's funny and interesting, whatever. But like it gets to that, and I'm just like, skip. Like literally, I'm sitting there like this, like no thanks. It's I don't know.
But yeah, I feel like the future of movies needs to move towards celebrating authors of books, either a book series or just a solid book. Like even The Hunger Games was a book before it was a movie, and it turned out great.
Yeah,
Maze Runner, book before a series, turned out great. Dune, book series, turned out fantastic. They're not following this trend though, right? They're just pumping out garbage instead of continuing on that trend and giving us something
Let's-
great.
Dune
Well,
is
let's
why we have
agree.
Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, he got influenced by the Dune books and gave us Star Wars. So fucking thank God for that. And then of course the Dune movies.
I don't feel like a
I haven't
lot of
watched the
these
first one.
writers are big readers though. I don't think they're big readers, so they don't really have a lot
You
of.
think they would
big
be?
thoughts.
You think they would be though?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to, because like when you read a book, you put it in your own imagination. So that maybe that's just their imagination of the book, but also it's hard to congest everything or crunch everything that's in that big old book, or even into the set of books, into just one little story that's set
Yeah.
in 2 hours.
That's what
of
I'm
time.
saying.
It's-
Like,
Yeah.
you turn it
Absolutely
into a
impossible.
series then, but then there's those smaller books that you can turn into a movie, like The Hunger Games, right? It wasn't a massive book. It was a smaller book with a pretty basic plot line, right? So they turned it into a movie rather than a series. I feel like they turned The Hunger Games into a freaking 10-hour long fucking series, the first book, and then season 2 comes around, you're pretty freaking burnt out on the whole fucking love life of fucking Peeta
Yeah,
and
that would have been
fucking
too much. Yeah,
Katniss.
yeah. It would have had so much filler in it if they would have done it like that.
I don't know, man. Twilight would have made a real boss fucking TV show.
They're probably better than the movies.
Agreed.
It could have. It could have.
Because I feel like
but-
when I'm watching
it
these
would have been
newer
like
movies,
Vampire Diaries or some stupid shit.
like I'm watching
Yeah.
these newer movies, and I feel like they're putting in a lot of filler where there's an actual story to be told, and they're just pushing it through because they would rather make a movie than a TV series out of it, a limited TV series, I should say. I think when they're looking at making a movie opposed to a TV series, they're not looking to make it limited. They're like, oh, this isn't going to make a good long-term TV series, so we'll make it into a movie instead of thinking, okay, we can drag this out for a solid year in a limited series and move on to the next book,
I could see that. Yeah. It's just. Then again, it goes back to that whole money thing. Like, how can we use this to benefit whatever it is we're doing? How can we, you know what I mean?
Well, they would benefit huge, especially if they invested the time and the energy in
Oh,
making that
yeah.
limited series. Like the Fallout series, right? They made all of those episodes and released it all at once.
Oh yeah.
So now
That
they
was
have
good.
all this out, right? They have all this out, and they're working on season 2. So who knows how long they're going to be working on that? As long as they take the time and the effort they put into season 1, I mean, it would be great.
They will. Fallout is cool just because of like the way that they stuck true to the source material, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that like with Queen's Gambit, like you were saying, they stuck with it, with the original idea and whatever of the storyline. I think when they do that and they stayed true to those things, they turn out way better. Like the quality is better, people love it more. You can definitely tell when like the difference when they change things like that.
Stop trying to change the imagination of the writer. There's a reason that the book or the series turned out so well in the first place. So then you turn it into a movie and you're like, oh, yeah, I could do it better this way. No, it was a success because the writer had an imagination. He had an idea. He had a fucking solid grounding as to what it was going to be, and it turned into something beautiful. And then you take it and decide you want to force your own ideas onto it, and it just turns into complete dog shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, the Lord of the Rings show was based on a book, based off like the Silmarillion, I think is what it's called.
Interesting.
So that's something that followed, because it's something that was set way, way ahead. It was still in the same universe, but it was actually written by J.R.R. Tolkien, and it was written basically talking about how things were thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. So
That's
I don't
awesome.
know.
I didn't know that. I
Exactly,
didn't
I
even
don't know
know about
exactly
it.
how close it was to the source material, but it was based off of that for sure. And I guarantee they
That's
probably
cool.
followed pretty close. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure the Lord of the Rings show was pretty well received.
That's really cool. I think I heard about it, but I don't really know much about it, like at all. But that's awesome. I hope Lord of the Rings is good. It's like such a big thing, so them staying true is awesome.
Yeah, I loved Lord of the
So-
Rings, but
So much
mostly
to
because I
it.
was a Dungeons and
Million, yeah.
Dragons nerd. I love Dungeons and Dragons, the fantasy the stories that you can create playing a Dungeons and Dragons freaking game, and a lot of like those dungeon freaking movies like that they come out with are based off of like actual Dungeons and Dragons campaigns that these nerds actually went and had, and they're like, man, that would make a good movie, and they end up.
Well,
making
yeah,
it.
which is
Yeah.
all ultimately based off Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All the races, like elves and because before Lord of the Rings, elves were just stupid little forest creatures,
Yeah. They were like old
Or,
culture, those tiny little
or very trickstery type, creatures that come in your house.
Untrustworthy freaking little fucking sneaks.
Yeah, like brownies,
Yeah, for real. I want to see a
or
Wendigo
leprechauns,
movie.
probably.
ooh
I've
indigo.
I can actually let's see what I can because I super believe in the Wendigo.
Oh,
By
absolutely.
the way,
Wendigo's hella real.
yeah,
Just keep
I
an
have
eye out for one
fucking
now. We've
fun.
spoken into existence.
I can go crazy,
need to
fucking like
stop.
ultra fucking conspiracy type bullshit on the Wendigo.
Wendigo's not a
Ooh.
conspiracy. That is
I'll
reality.
sound
in
I'll
its
sound like
finest.
I'll sound like a crazy person. Like I've fucking seen Wendigos, bro.
Dude, I have seen Wendigos too. Heard them in the fucking woods. It was fucking nuts.
Yeah,
Wendigos
I've
are
actually-
fucking crazy, dude. They're
Podcast
scary as
topic.
fuck.
Hold up
Do you
before
remember
you
when
do
I was
that.
up there?
Podcast
I was like
topic.
super paranoid.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Wendigo.
Like I was paranoid about going out there at night and shit. I was like,
Up
hell
north here, dude.
fuck no.
Up north here, dude. They're freaking
I've
everywhere,
seen-
especially around the res.
I've seen one up there, dude. Fucking going through the woods and shit with my dad hunting. Like
we
my
were
dad
totally
won't
talking
even
about
mention it.
movies. You guys, we were talking about movies. We
Oh,
have to
this
do a
is- this-
separate podcast for
It's
this.
on the wind. Yeah, we will definitely.
We'll
do
have
this
to.
fucking-
We'll
Okay.
definitely touch back on
Michael
the
and I
Wendigo.
will fucking
Yes,
talk on the
we
Wendigo.
will.
But I'll see if I can
I
find
want to
the
hear.
movie
I want to learn about
I
it.
can suggest. They're spooky as hell. Oh, dude, they're gonna make
Yeah.
or they already did. They released the Wendigo. Ooh, I might look into that. But anyways, let's see.
It's pronounced
There's a-
Mandango.
Mandingo. Yeah, there was a Wendigo movie I watched a while back.
But do you guys have any movies that you're looking forward to seeing?
Negative.
Really?
I really want to watch
Not
that
one?
new Planet of the Apes. I love those movies.
That I heard about it, but I feel like it's not going to be great because they already made so many Planet of the Apes, and if they're going to expand off the last Planet of the Apes that they made, then it's going to be trash because the last Planet of the Apes freaking pretty much didn't end me on a cliffhanger. It didn't end me
Well-
on thinking there's going to even be another one after.
Well, this is like branching. It's kind of because this is like the prequels to like the original Planet of the Apes. Where humans are already enslaved.
Do you remember the older
but-
Planet of the Apes? Like, it was the best, but then you go back and look at it, you're like, man, look at all these guys in costumes running around.
Yeah, but that's what it is, and it's the prequels to those movies. So like now, like the humans are enslaved and all that shit. Like the Earth is like a fucking desert because they fucking destroyed it. Yeah, like so it's the prequel, and this I don't know where they would go after this, but this is basically the ending or the middle ground. It's the Revenge of the Sith to the original Star Wars.
Mine is not only Deadpool, but Beetlejuice. I know that sounds wild because it's a sequel, but the trailers and stuff for it actually look pretty interesting. And they brought original actors, Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder are going to be in it. And yeah, I'll watch it. I'm
I
going to
saw
watch
that.
it. Yeah.
That's cool, bud.
But yeah, it's a sequel. It's not like a remake. So I don't know, like mixed feelings, little, little bit of anxiety towards that whole concept of it. But I think if they do it right, it could be good. You know what I mean?
I want to see a movie made based around Bloody Mary.
Ooh.
Oh, you mean Candyman?
Could be Candyman too. Candyman's fucking scary too.
Candyman's basically Bloody Mary.
Candyman? Isn't that the same thing?
No,
Basically.
Basically.
you say his name fucking 3 times. Beetlejuice, the same idea too. Say his name fucking 3 times and then you're fucked. Royally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I when I saw the trailer with him in it, and it was the same situation, I was like, oh man, because that old movie, like, I loved that movie so much when I was younger. So yeah, I'm excited.
I don't know. I was excited for that movie Civil War, and then I got in there and I'm like, this is nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Advertised. They only advertised
That
all
one
the
was
action
not-
parts, and by the time the action parts came up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, I already saw those. Those were all the freaking trailers. Like, okay, so now what do I do?
Yeah, you didn't have to watch that movie to know what had
Well,
happened.
Yeah, there's no
Mhm.
build up to it, so because they built up to it already. Trailers and movies, they need to just stop with major trailers like that. Like, get it, release one small trailer with like one small scene in it, but don't release all of the action scenes, because then there's no build up when I watch the movie.
Right? But Ron Swanson was the president.
Okay, so I put the title of the movie I was thinking of, the Wendigo movie I watched a while back.
Okay,
Called
we'll
The
have to check it
Retreat.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it's streaming on right now, but I watched it on Hulu. I think.
2020, yeah, that's not too long ago.
Yeah, it was
That's
actually
cool.
pretty
I
good.
didn't even
I
hear
mean,
about it.
it's not like super freaky, but it definitely, gets you kind of on the edge of your seat a little bit. You're like, oh shit. Especially when you believe they're fucking real. Like, oh, hell no.
Like,
most
I
people-
need another thing
Well,
on my list of spooky things.
Well, and most people are like, oh, they have the fucking antlers, but the one I saw definitely fucking did not have antlers.
Oh no, they're just
They're
a
like-
shape. They're a shapeless creature until they give themselves shape, and they're shapeshifters in the freaking nastiest way.
Well, they're Wendigo is like which is where I'm from, Algonquin language. See,
Save it. Save it. We'll do another episode.
Yes, save it.
Save it.
But if we've
Come
got
back
nothing
next time,
else,
guys.
I'm just saying it means something. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
if we've got nothing else to touch on, we'll let Landon kick us off on our unpopular opinion.
Hi guys, I'm Dahlia. I'm going to tell you about an energy drink called W. W is the pinnacle of purity and performance, crafted for those who demand only the best. W is free from maltodextrin, fillers, artificial colors or dyes, and sugar, ensuring a clean and natural energy boost. With a carefully curated blend of premium ingredients, including essential vitamins and a powerful caffeine kick, W revitalizes your body and mind without any unnecessary additives. Whether you're pushing your limits at the gym, staying sharp during a hectic day, or fueling your passions, W stands as a beacon of quality and integrity in the world of energy drinks. Elevate your experience with W Energy Drink. Pure energy, pure focus, pure power. You can try it today at w.gg and use our code PhantomRift for 10% off your order.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. We'll definitely talk. We'll continue this conversation.
Yes, we will.
I'm gonna
'Cause
go
I wanna
fucking
hear.
Bigfoot conspiracy theorist on your ass.
All right, let's do it.
Anyways, the unpopular opinion is the legal drinking age should be lowered to 18. At 18, individuals are considered adults in most aspects of life. They can vote, join the military, and even be tried as adults in court. It's inconsistent to deem them responsible enough for these significant decisions, yet not trust them to consume alcohol responsibly. So, want me to make my points?
Talk for a second.
Before we jump off that cliff there, I feel like the drinking age should be no. I don't feel like drinking should be even legal. I feel like weed should replace drinking. That's my personal opinion. And like, just drinking will kill you, right? Smoking weed won't. Like, in driving incidents, it may contribute, but as far as like overconsumption, name one story where somebody's died from overconsumption of fucking weed. Like, but I can name billions of freaking incidents. Well, not literally billions, because that would take a fucking lifetime. But you get my point. Where people have over freaking consumed on alcohol, basically like ODing on fucking drugs, you're fucked, right? Unless you get fucking pumped, and there's just fucking huge problem with it. So as far as that goes, I don't feel like alcohol should be even a fucking legal thing, but prohibition fucked us on that one. Now we just need a weed prohibition, but maybe we've been in prohibition for so fucking long, but it's a prohibition that'll never fucking end.
We have been in weed prohibition 100%, and that's what they're going to say in the future. They're going to say that's how we lived, and they're going to laugh. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, for so long." Anyway, I think that's an interesting, the whole legal age thing, going back to that, the original thought process. It's interesting that, we can send these kids, we can sign them up before they're fully mentally grown and adapted, and hand them a gun and teach them how to kill people and send them off to war, and they can't have a drink or whatever, a consumption of any kind, because if you think influence, like, weed in some places is legal at 21 too. So whatever it is, legal age, they can't partake, but, they can go and die for our country. Like that baffles me completely.
Yeah, and in my state, actually, nicotine, you have to be 21 to buy.
Same over
Which is
here in our
fucking
state.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Like, the only thing it's going to do is cause people to be more sneaky. And, kids are getting fucking in a whole case in.
That's the thing, like being 21, like for tobacco, like tobacco's not going to kill you. I've never heard of anybody dying of overconsumption of tobacco.
I mean, eventually.
What about lung cancer?
Really? That cancer can be caused by anything. Like over at my job, I work around cedar dust all day. That's considered a class 1 carcinogen. Like, yeah. I get cancer from just breathing that. Like, come on, guys. You can't use cancer as an excuse for fucking tobacco. Just stop. Yes, it helps, but...
Nicotine is actually extremely, let's see, LD50 of nicotine. LD50, by the way, is lethal dose of 50% of people. So, the LD50 is approximately 0.8 milligrams per 1 kilogram of weight. So, let's see. Wow. It's extremely, so the LD50 for THC, by the way, is 30 milligrams per kilogram, which is a lot, as opposed to just 0.8 for nicotine. Like, but even all the time, I get nicotine high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to the point where I want to throw up. It's an overdose.
Yeah, but you're not going to die from it.
If I did it more, probably. Like, if I were to just keep fucking, even when I was sick, just fucking puffing on a cigarette or, snuff or whatever. It's bad. But
still, alcohol is worse. So much worse. But anyway,
yes,
tobacco being 21 and alcohol being 21, don't classify tobacco and weed in the same fucking category as alcohol. Like even in the legal states for weed, it's 21. It's like, you guys are putting all this shit in the same category as alcohol, but alcohol is literally a fucking toxin that will kill you if you overconsume. And it's not that hard to freaking overconsume alcohol. Period.
They're all toxins.
Especially with all the flavored alcohols they do. Like, dude, I could drink a fucking whole
like an AMF.
Dude, I could drink a whole fifth of whiskey fucking to my head and possibly die. Who knows? Depends on the person's fucking person's body, I guess, as to how fast they're gonna fuck themselves over.
I guess the biggest thing I'm trying to think of is the actual morality of forcing people to wait until 21. I mean, when you can force them to go to war, if there's a draft right now, you're forcing 18-year-olds to go to war when they cannot even drink.
Absolutely. If you are old enough to go to war, you were old enough to freaking shoot somebody in the face, right?
How about this? What if instead of that, the age of an adult shifted to 21. I feel like that would probably be a better.
Yeah, you can't go fight in
It's
the military
opposite.
till
I
you're
don't think
21,
so.
Kind
right?
of opposite. Yeah,
I think
it's kind of opposite, but
I think of where it's at is actually a good spot for 18 because that's when you're starting to get mature. You're starting to get individualized. You're starting to be yourself, and so I think 18 is a
I
good time
suppose.
to be an adult. I think they really should just lower the age of drinking
But it
because
gives those kids time to go through college or whatever
Well,
it
they're
is.
they're
Not
drinking in
necessarily
college.
college.
They're going right into college
But-
and fucking
Yeah.
getting hammered.
True. You're right. They
And
are.
so-
they are. They're
and so-
doing it
yeah.
anyway. That I guess
But
that's the
also-
other point.
decreasing the age will cause people to eventually be more responsible. I mean, shit, I fucking was drinking well before my before the legal age of drinking.
Shoot,
I mean,
we were drinking before we were 18. I remember
I
those
was like
Four Locos.
14.
Remember those
Fucking-
fucking
yeah.
Four Locos?
I was like
Fucking
14. But I eventually just started like, yeah, this isn't fun anymore. You know what I mean? But also doing that, you know, it's the thrill of breaking the law and all that kind of stuff. But when
Yeah.
you lower the age, people aren't going to want to do it as much anymore. They're going to be able to go
Because
to bars.
it's
They're going
not
to be
gonna
able
be
to
illegal. Yeah.
yeah, they're going to be able to make responsible decisions by going to a bar, not drinking and driving because they have a way home. You know, whether that be the free taxi they give or just not having the thrill of having to drive out in the fucking woods to be able to drink because you might get caught by the law.
I definitely
I think
agree
it's-
with you there.
And also, it's just the binge drinking factor too. Like, yeah, you drink as much as you can right now because we don't want to get caught. And also, but when you do it from a younger age, I also, you know, by legalizing drinking at a younger age, we could provide more comprehensive education and guidance on responsible alcohol consumption, potentially leading to healthier habits. It's something you could teach in school, like, you know, like, hey, this is how you should be, just like we do with, you know, sex or all that kind of stuff. Like, this is how you should be drinking. This is how much you probably should. You know, these are the things you should be watching out for.
Things you
Signs of
all that
shouldn't
kind of
do.
intoxication, you know, signs you should
Yeah.
probably chill
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and like
They should
because
do that
when you go,
anyway.
well, when you go to like Europe or something like that, where the age is like 16, even, like I'm not saying we should bring it back that far, but there's actually been like evidence that those younger kids are being more responsible with their alcohol. They're not, and also the drinking and driving, it just isn't as bad even here.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
having at a younger age will cause more people to be more responsible as opposed to fucking being shithead teenagers that want to break, you know, want to break the law and they're going to act irresponsibly by driving. You know, they're barely just driving, you know. And so if you start them out at the same age, like driving, alcohol, the education on that will be a lot more tied in with each other.
You could put them all into a thing together.
Slap
it could
them
be
in
like
there with
part of
sex
your-
ed.
Yeah, it could,
Could be
and it
just
could be
one
their part of
thing.
your just driving, like driver's ed or whatever.
Yeah, don't drive like this. This is what it can do to you. This is what happens. I think that's a big deal because a lot of people that end up with DUIs or like people that end up in accidents, they're not educated about it. Probably, you know, they
Oh.
don't know like, oh, I shouldn't do this or act that way because they're drunk, you know, and they didn't have the foundation of that they should have had to begin with.
Well, that's the thing. Like in Idaho, I think it's still a law. I don't think they ever redacted that law, but in Idaho, your kid, if they're under the age of 21, they can drink at your house under your supervision.
You can do that here too. Yeah,
I mean, so
as long as they're under your supervision, but it can't be their friends. They can only
Yeah,
be your
right.
they
fucking
can
kid.
only be your kid.
Yeah, because then you're providing to a minor or whatever
Yeah,
that
I
is.
think it's
And
cool.
And
You know,
another-
I don't think that somebody should be able to give another fucking parent's kid fucking alcohol, but you know, if you want
No,
your kid
yeah.
to fucking experience that and be like, hey, this is what it's like. Here, fucking have a couple beers.
there's a
fucking
whole
feel it.
bottle of HRD.
Now fucking now enjoy barfing for fucking the next 4 hours.
Oh my god.
Okay, and another point I made actually earlier was that when drinking is illegal, young people might be hesitant to seek medical help if they or a friend experience alcohol poisoning, fearing legal repercussions. A lower drinking age could remove this barrier and potentially save a lot of lives.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean,
kids that
how
go
many
get
kids
drunk.
have fucking died from that shit? Probably a
Oh,
lot.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
So
that's
I think
horrible to think
that'll
about.
definitely help. It'll help reduce the harm that it causes.
I
I
am
mean, yeah, because
though.
alcohol is a toxin, but so is nicotine, so is THC. Those are the plants,
Yep.
defense mechanisms that we're taking advantage of.
Yeah,
But yeah,
They're
I am
toxins.
grateful though for the law that allows me to give my kid alcohol if I see fit. I let my kids try all my beers when I get them. Like, here, try it, and every time they're like, "This is fucking gross." And if you just
Yep.
and if you
Yep.
associate this is fucking disgusting while they're younger, right?
Yeah, you got to get them the rough ones though, like fucking
The cheap
like a real
shit.
strong IPA. Yeah,
Some
Or
fucking
dude,
Boone's
Old E.
Farm.
Foster's. Like,
Oh my
god. Yeah.
or dude, fucking Mad
I
Dog
think-
2020.
Oh, some freaking
That
Mad
shit.
think-
Dog. Ugh.
Really hate
You know what?
themselves.
I have a thought just now. I think 18 should just be or whatever the adult age. I think it should be the same across the board. Honestly, because you're right. Like education and the kids being afraid of being in trouble when they need help. I think that's horrible.
That
You
and
know
the
what I mean?
exploration
Like-
of who they are when they're 18, right? That's when they're exploring all
Yeah.
these things, trying
Well,
all
they're
these different
grown.
things,
They're done with school. They're old enough to vote. They're old enough to be in the military. So if they're legally old enough to do these things in our country, then they should be able to just do what they want. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, maybe they go and have a drink or whatever with somebody, and someone gets sick, and like you were saying, like someone needs to go to the hospital or whatever, and they're too scared to go and handle that. Like
Yeah.
that's no.
In a personal thing for me is like I didn't start smoking cigarettes until I was 18. I
Right.
chose to not do that, and so people that are younger might choose the same thing about drinking. Like, yeah, it's only 2 more years. Like, what's the I can focus on whatever I'm doing now, and I can drink later.
Yeah. Me,
And
when
so
I
they
was
might make better
18
decisions about that.
Well, when I was 18, I did all the fucking drugs, all the alcohol. I did it for years, and then as I hit a certain age and a certain point in my life, I kind of hit that point to where I don't really like that, I hit certain milestones per se, and I feel like it made me a better human being as an adult for being. Well, I was restricted by law, but not restricted by the people around me to do these things and to experiment with these things, under a safe guidance. Yeah, some of the drugs were not under safe guidance. It was more along the lines of just trying to push it on me and keep me doing it. But I mean, a lot of the stuff, here, have a beer with me, party with me, Hey, you've had too much. You should just chill out. Give me a glass of water instead.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of responsible people in my life growing up that allowed me to try these things and do these things with me, which I hope to do with my kids someday. If they ever wanted to try anything, that I could be that person in their life to be like, hey, you've had too much, or this is you need to chill.
Yeah, and being able to do that at a younger age will, I mean, for one, it'll cause your 20s to be a little earlier. Before it's going to cause permanent fucking damage.
I didn't have the option to explore those things when I was younger because I was a mom right away. So
Yeah, it
I
caused
don't
my
know.
20s to end real quick too.
Yeah, I didn't have that like life situation, like the opportunity to go and do those things. But I think that being able to go through an experience and then learn stuff is good. Learning experience is good always, whatever it is, as long as you have people around you, like you were saying, people that can back you up and be there to be support for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely a safe environment. That's the word I was looking for. Having safe environments for things like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Safe
they
place
could
to
have
do
like
things.
18. Well, and that's part of like where the bar, Yeah, people do stupid shit at the bar all the time, but
Yeah, they do.
you're old enough to get fucking swung on. You're old enough to swing. Fucking go to the bar. You know what I mean?
That's what the bouncer's for.
Like how can a fucking 18-year-old get in fight with those patrons at the bar but not be able to fucking drink there? It's like
Oh.
ridiculous.
I don't know. You
And
can
they
walk
get-
in the
and they
door,
get
but
it-
you can't have
and they get
anything.
adult charges. Fucking
Yeah. Yeah, that too. You get charged as an adult.
yeah, if they get in a fight with those people, you get charged as an
18.
adult. Like, but you can't drink there.
That's crazy. How dare
So,
you
but
have any sort
I
of
do think
anything.
in the end, it will cause more responsibility because yeah, it's going to allow you to fuck up earlier in your life rather than later.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I see it.
Because if you're gonna fuck up, I mean, they're gonna do it anyways. They're going to drink. Why not make it safer for them?
Yep. They are. You're right. They'll find some way to do it, or someone's going to help them do it, whether you like it or not, whether anybody likes it or not, because they do it anyway.
All right. As we wrap up this unpopular opinion, what side of the fence you sitting on now, Brittany?
I definitely, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with it.
And
If that's an
I'm with it
unpopular
too.
opinion, then I guess it is.
yep,
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with changing the drinking age to 18.
You swayed us.
You have swayed this.
Now we're gonna have to fight. Now we're gonna have to fight mothers against drunk driving. They're the assholes that got it moved to 21 in the first place.
Yeah, good luck.
Ronald Reagan, man.
Beat an old man up.
Go and dig him up just so you can punch him in the face.
That's fucking right.
Okay.
Sure, most of 99% of redneck America would hate me.
For real.
I don't know. Like,
I would
because
never
you
be able to
think
step foot in North Idaho ever again.
Yeah, right. They'd probably be like, "Come on, brother."
Or punching Ronald Reagan. I don't know, man. That's their fucking
Oh,
hero.
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No.
I'd be right
bad
under the
for
guy
you.
who shot him.
All right, everybody. Now that we have concluded that the state of movies are 50-50 up in the air, I feel like they're going downhill. What do you think by the end of this conversation, Landon?
I think my general idea is that movies are fine nowadays, but they're not innovating anymore, and they're also soft, and they should kind of take notes from the older movies and be able to, like I said, hold up the mirror to you rather than projecting themselves onto you.
And you, Brittany?
I definitely agree with that. I agree with both of you guys, but I also think that there is a possibility for better things. That they can be better and they can be good, but that's all. We're all at the whim of the creators and the writers. And
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into the In My Opinion podcast with The Phantom Rift. We hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we did creating it for you. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on social media. We have a website at thephantomrift.com where you can find all the links in some recent episodes. Your support means everything to us, so we're excited to keep making content for you and hanging out. So until next time, see you on the Rift.